Welcome to SwamiLee Remembers, the 1979 sci-fi. I don't want to call it a comedy. It certainly wasn't a drama. Maybe a dramedy. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Today we're going to focus on Season 1, Episode 14, The Space Vampire. Yes, for those that know the episode, the Vorvon. The Vorvon was beyond belief the coolest bad guy that I remember from my youth. But to give you a little rundown, this is what happened. Buck and Wilma, of course dressed in spandex, took Tweaky to Theta Station so they could get him worked on. When they dropped him off, the two of them were then going to go on vacation, and I'm pretty sure Buck was going to get himself a little something. So they get to Theta Station, they meet Commander Royko, who's obviously, Wilma and Royko had something going on in the past. We had a little bit, tension going on there. They're getting ready to drop Tweaky off, and a freighter comes out of nowhere and smashes right into Theta Station. So they have to kind of figure out what's going on. They enter the freighter, because of course there's a convenient space for them to go right into it. And they find 9 bodies that are presumably dead. They assume it's the virus EL7 that has led to the deaths. The doctor takes him to sickbay. He examines them, and he finds out they're not alive, but they're really not dead either. So the first thing Buck thinks of is vampire. Yeah, that would be the first thing I would think about if something was wrong. I would immediately think vampire. But Buck knows all. Remember something, Buck knows all. Buck is the one that never flew a 25th century starfighter before. The best he ever did was the old 1987 rockets, and he immediately took to it and killed the bad guys. That was in his first time in a starfighter. Anyway, they're all quarantined because they think it's EL7. Until, out of the blue, Wilma starts feeling cold and something is wrong. Little does Wilma know, she has a new secret admirer. The Vorvon. The Vorvon is focused only on Wilma. It's as if he knew Wilma was going to be there. I don't disagree. If I was the Vorvon, I would focus on Wilma only also. I don't need to go near Buck or any of the other people. Just give me Wilma, I'll be on my way. Especially if she's wearing spandex. All over that. But anyway, back to the story. They do some investigation. They find a video that shows the bounty hunter Helsing, as in Van Helsing. We see him, and he's being thrown around by an invisible something. Probably isn't going to be EL7 then. Dr. Hewer does some investigation and talks about the Vorvon. Well, we progress. Now the Vorvon comes after Buck. But, of course, he can't take him, and nobody believes him. It's EL7. That is, until he comes after Wilma. He comes after Wilma, and Buck tries to protect him, and Royko thinks he has EL7 and throws him in the brig. So what does that do? That allows this to happen.
Something or someone is draining their souls.
Now, the Vorvon doesn't suck your blood. He goes like this with his fingers and drains your soul. So now Wilma is one of them, so to speak. So you would think they would get out now. He's got Wilma. If it's me, I'm just leaving town where it's safe. I don't even have to be a bad guy anymore. Just give me Wilma and I'm good to go. But the Vorvon, not good enough. The Vorvon sends Wilma after Buck for some strange reason. Maybe because Buck is the ultimate human being, I don't know. And this happens. I'm sorry. If Erin Gray in spandex tells me she's going to make me feel so good, I'm going to let her do whatever she wants and I'll take my chances. That's just me. I can't speak for anybody else. But that's just me. So, a Donnybrook ensues. Buck, of course, gets away from Wilma. He meets up with Royko. They beat up a bunch of undead. They go after the Vorvon and Wilma, they escape to... For some reason, the Vorvon has to escape when he just doesn't, take all their souls. I don't understand. But he is Wilma. So I'm not going to criticize him for that. I want to get away also. They get away to Buck's ship, but Buck booby-trapped the ship. So it's heading towards a star, which had enough energy to actually kill a Vorvon. But Wilma's in the vehicle. What happens now? Of course, the vehicle happens to be the experimental ship that separates into two pieces, and Wilma escapes. So let's dive a little deeper into this episode. Here's the Vorvon seeing Wilma in spandex and saying, "Yeah, boy, give me some of that." And again, do not blame him. Now, the Vorvon in 2492 or 91, I think the year is, he could actually fire energy out of his palm. Now, can you imagine Count Dracula, Count Chocula, Nosferatu firing energy out of their palm? Probably not. I'm not sure what changed from the 20th century to the 25th century where that could happen, but it went along with everything, so we're okay with it. Now, the Vorvon has to have a weakness, of course, or he'd just kill everybody and, the whole world would be Vorvons. The whole galaxy would be Vorvons. There's a pendant that Buck found from watching the video from Van Helsing, the bounty hunter seeking the Vorvon, that looks exactly like Commander Adama's pendant that he wore on his neck. Things were, they had to cut any time they could, they cut their budget. So they had Commander Adama's pendant, which would, hurt the Vorvon, but would not kill him. Now this is something we need to talk about. Okay? So the Vorvon has Wilma. They're in the ship. They're leaving to conquer other galaxies. Okay? Again, I don't blame him. I'm on Team Vorvon when it comes to this. But I want you to look very carefully at the Vorvon's eyes. And I'm going to blow this up for you so you can see a little better. Look at his eyes. The Vorvon is checking out Wilma's cleavage. I do not blame him. I want to be clear 100 times over. But nonetheless, you're a 25th century vampire, and you are checking out Wilma's cleavage. Is there anything better than that? I mean, is there anything better than being a 25th century vampire and you're checking out her cleavage? I love that scene. That just cracked me up beyond belief. This was the undead. They didn't spend a lot of money trying to make it look undead, let's be clear. And then Buck and Royko beat up 6 of them. I just move on with my life. They've made custom-made action figures of the Vorvon. I found them on Etsy, I believe it was. So for around $50-ish, you could have your own Vorvon figure. What took so long? And if you're wondering, Nicholas Horman played the Vorvon, and I think he played it very, very well. That was a great, great character. Without a doubt, the Vorvon was the scariest villain on TV in the 70s. It scared the bejeebies out of the Swami. Not once, but every time I watched it, I would be scared of the Vorvon. He was a great character. I love the Vorvon. If you have not seen Buck Rogers in the 20th century, circa 1979, episode 14 of season 1, The Space Vampire, you have to see it. And one of the streaming services does offer Buck Rogers right now. I strongly recommend seeing the episode The Space Vampire, where you can see the vampire checking out Aaron Gray's cleavage. I want to, again, be clear. I got no issue with that. I just found it funny. Thanks again for tuning in to SwamiLee Remembers Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Please like this video and comment on it. If you have any comments to say, subscribe if you would, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in, and again, have a great, great day.